Well, the Constitutional Court has ruled in favour of political party funding being made public. Now, the court stressed that voters need information on private donations to political parties in order to exercise the right to vote. Well, political analyst Mike Law joins us to explain the implications of this, and he joins us from our Cape Town studios. Mr. Law, thank you very much for giving us your time. Explain to us first why it is important for voters to know who donates to which political party and for what reasons are they doing so.
Very good morning to you and a good morning to the viewers out there. Yes, yesterday was a great victory for South Africa after 2 years of, 2 decades rather, of trying. Finally, political parties are going to be required by law to tell us who funds them. Obviously, this is very, very important. The Constitution creates a range of accountability measures and checks and balances which are applied to organs of state. But really in South Africa, especially with the larger parties, it's within the party caucus that key policy decisions are made, that appointments are decided, and it's very, very important for us to know who is funding these political parties and to try and transfer some of the constitutional accountability measures to those very, very powerful bodies who have been telling us for years that they're private bodies, but actually exercise a great amount of public power.
Is it safe to assume that this may possibly drive away private funders who would have wanted to keep their anonymity?
Well, that's definitely been a fear expressed by some parties, especially opposition parties, during the debates in Parliament. As viewers may know, there's a concurrent process going on at the moment in Parliament to create a whole new piece of legislation to regulate this area. The fear from opposition parties is that their donors will be intimidated as they are forced to disclose themselves, and potentially those large corporations that want to do business with the state who donate to opposition parties may fear that if that is disclosed, that will reduce those chances. But I think it's the opposite effect. What this will do is will put everything in the open, and it will allow us to assess whether certain donors are given preferential treatment because they donate to a certain party.
Mr. Law, the donations from foreign entities and aid from wealthy countries has been particularly contentious. Why is this? Well, the fear that it was expressed was that foreign companies and foreign organizations and even the states themselves would try to influence South African political policy by funding our large political parties. And the argument was that it may be necessary in order to protect the sovereignty of South Africa for us to ban donations from foreign sources. The compromise reached in the draft bill at the moment is that foreign governments and foreign organs of state will be banned from donating to political parties, but foreign organizations and companies may donate for very specific purposes below a certain threshold. And that's very good because South Africa does receive good funding from certain democracy building institutions across the world. And I think it's important for those organizations to be able to donate to our parties for training and education as the bill allows them. But if it's not for those purposes, then as the bill stands at the moment, those will be prohibited. Just finally, Mike Law, talk to us about this new bill, because what it says is that political parties will disclose or are required to disclose donations amounting to more than 100,000 per donor. In your view, why would a private funder want to donate more than that? And should you and I, as ordinary voters, immediately assume that there might be ulterior motives to this?
Well, I don't think 100,000 rand donation suggests necessarily ulterior motive. I think for the larger parties, they receive millions and millions of rand a year from private donors and
public funding. So the 100,000 rand threshold is a little bit contentious. Because for the larger parties, 100,000 rand might not be so much in the context of the sum of the donations that they receive. But for the smaller parties who don't receive too much amounts of money in private donations, 100,000 rand is actually a lot of money, and therefore there has been a call from civil society to lower that threshold a bit. Why do people donate so much money to political parties? Well, it's hard to say, and I think the only reason how we can evaluate that is if we see who is donating to the political parties, how much they are donating, and when the public goes to vote in 2019, when we hope the bill will be enacted. Obviously, Parliament has been given 18 months to amend PIA, which might be after 2019, but hopefully the bill will be enacted. And then when the public goes to vote, they'll be fully informed who is funding the parties and where they're getting the most amounts of their funding from.
All right. Thank you very much for those insights. That was Mike Law. He's a political analyst and researcher. Well